This is not hooked up to anything. Okay, we're back. I probably don't need to hold this too close to my face, or else you're gonna have an unexpected ASMR session. I don't know. Is that better? I feel like the lighting in here is not it. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it there and scooch. Okay, so something I kind of wanted to talk about today is, I don't know, I put it down on my list of stuff to talk about months ago when I made a list of stuff to talk about and neglected to make a video talking about them. But yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about today, what it means to be basic. And I think it's kind of funny because calling someone calling someone basic is kind of an insult. At least it is to me. I don't know. No one wants to feel basic. No one wants to feel like everyone else. You know? That's the whole thing with, like, I don't know, pick-me's. Like, I'm not like the other girls. Not being like the other girls. Not wanting to be basic. And not wanting to follow the other fishes. Not wanting to swim in the same direction. I don't know. Wanting to be noticed, basically. And I truly believe everyone wants to feel different in some aspect of their life, but they also want to fit in. So, I don't know if it's the same for teenage males because I am not one, but as far as teenage females, I know it is very hard to try and meet both of those standards of wanting to fit in, but also wanting to stand out. It's kind of an oxymoron. So, sorry. I probably just blasted your eardrums. But genuinely conflicting sides of the pressure, especially, I mean, my generation. I am Gen Z. Shocker. I feel like Gen Z is kind of ruling the internet at this point. I don't know. But tail end of Gen Z, my generation literally grew up online. I made a video about this before, but I didn't have a phone as a child. I got one at 14, which is pretty old considering my generation, I guess. But for my generation, especially for girls in my generation, comparison has began since childhood, and you always had this standard to meet, you know, the crazy beauty standards that you can never measure up to. It's just always there. And so obviously growing up you want to be valued, and in a society that tells you that looking a certain way and behaving a certain way is most valuable, that's what you're going to cleave to. That's what you're going to run after. So what I think happened to my generation specifically, and even early kids from early Gen Alpha, are now kind of just stuck in that awkward pattern of wanting to stand out, but also wanting to fit in. And this is genuinely a newer social thing. You know, you go back 200 years, and I'm sure there was some of that, but there really wasn't as much influence that would play into peer pressure. I'm sure there was peer pressure back then, but it wasn't the same. That's all I'll say. You know, they had voices speaking in from their little red schoolhouse, but now we have thousands, millions, billions of people putting their lives online that are readily available to compare yourself to. And that's kind of a standard that no one can measure up to. It is a standard no one can measure up to. But kind of going along with that, there are these underlying, like, pathways that really everyone follows. Social cues, I mean, I guess that's a good thing, but like fashion statements and just behaviors, ways of speaking, you know, I feel like all teenage girls, not all of them, but most teenage girls all talk the same way. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, you hear it. Maybe you talk that way too. It's like, everyone talks that way. Why? I don't believe that's your natural voice. Like, I don't believe that's your natural voice. You didn't grow up speaking like an influencer. Like, you just didn't. You didn't. That's kind of what I want to go with. Everyone follows these trends, you know? Everyone wears the same things. Everyone talks the same way. Everyone, it seems like they think the same way. And that's kind of what, like, the argument of being basic is. Oh, you're just like the other girls, you know? You talk the same way, you look the same way, you dress the same way, you act the same way. You're all following the cookie cut pattern. Now, I'm just saying, like, that's I don't know. That's something I know I have felt before of, like, wow, I just feel like I'm kind of shoved in with the masses, if that makes sense. But honestly, who's surprised? Because there's like so many people living their lives online, and they're all pressuring you. They're all putting their lives out perfect and polished and saying, this is how I live my life. And obviously they only show the highlights, so we're like, oh, that's what works for them. It probably will work for me too. I don't know. So obviously you want to follow what's appealing, and if that's presented as appealing, you know, then you're going to want to do it too. And now, because we have influencers, because we have social media, everyone's living the exact same life, or at least that's what it seems like. But no one's born that way. You don't come out of the womb thinking like everyone else, wanting the same clothes as everyone else. You don't come out of the womb owning a pair of Adidas Sambas. You don't. So, what gets you to the point of being like everyone else? Because everyone has their own personality. Everyone has their own sense of humor. Everyone looks differently. Like, no one is the exact same. There is no such thing as a cookie cutter. There is no such thing as basic. Like, people, you aren't basic. You weren't born to be basic. Being basic, there are such things as basic trends. Is that even true? I'd say there's such things as trends. And if you follow the trends, you're labeled as basic. Maybe to some people you are, but you also fit in. And so, in today's day and age, you have fitting in, which is following the trends, but being different, which is the first to hop on the trend. So if it's a new trend and you hop on it, obviously it's already a trend, so you're fitting in, but at the same time you're one of the first to jump on, so now you're also standing out. That's really the only way to stay relevant in today's day and age. And that's an impossible standard to meet because trends are popping up every 10 minutes. So you're now reinventing your wardrobe with the purpose of trying to stay relevant, but you know, it's chaos. It's chaos. You can't sustain that. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to keep trying to earn people's attention and stay relevant? Or does it really matter that much? Like, genuinely doesn't matter that much. If everyone's so obsessed with their own relevance, what are you going to do about yours? Because it is your life. You only get one chance. So, honestly, you weren't born to follow the trends. It's your choice. That's an option you can definitely take. And if that's what suits you, then go for it. But if you have a different sense of humor, if you have a different style, if you have a different way of speaking, don't mask it just to try and swim in the same direction with all the fish. If you were born to be a certain way, don't try and spend your life changing yourself, because you can't unwrite what's already been written. So, all that to say, there is no such thing as basic, and whether you wear sambas or not, you are not basic. You are perhaps just following a trend. So, I don't know. Maybe I can help open your eyes and pursue your own personality. Not to say that people who follow trends don't have a personality, but you're more than the trends. And you're more than how people perceive you. All that to say, that's all. So, bye.